It's time for Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting, and it's sponsored by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia, Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now let's see what's happening in our community with host Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, and we are here on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning. I'm so glad that you've chosen to join in with us on today. We miss you all when we're not with you, and so glad that you all could join us this morning. We have a great show for you this morning. We have in the studio with us, for the first time ever, doing a radio interview, the one and the only, the beautiful young Miss Braylie Davis. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
Well, I got you up early this morning, but you're kind of used to it, right?
Yes, sir, I am.
You are a junior?
I am.
At Vidalia High School?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. And you were born and raised in Toombs County?
Yes, sir, I was.
All right. And so, Miss Braylie, you are... you and I, we've talked, and I'm just in awe of who you are as a young person, 16 years old.
Yes, sir, thank you.
And at 16 years old, you're already on the move, doing some big things in the community. And I'm, what I want to do is just first kind of introduce you to our audience so that they can get to know the same Miss Braylie Davis that I know. So why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners who you are, tell them a little bit about some of the things that you've done as a student here in the community.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm a junior at Vidalia High School, and I'm involved in the club FCCLA, which we'll get to, but I'm also a cheerleader and a three-time state champ for game day. And I'm also a part of our competition cheer team.
Okay.
So.
All right. So let's talk about first and foremost that you are a member of FCCLA, which stands for Family Career Community Leaders of America.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I'm trying to remember if we had that club when I was in school. I don't think we did, but tell us a little bit about that club and its mission.
So FCCLA is a really great club if you're just looking to make a difference in your community, and if you like the competition aspect of it, or just really sharing your cause with other people. You can really get a lot of publicity with competitions going up to nationals.
Oh, wow.
If you progress. So it's just a really good way to make a difference, and stuff that's important to you, really get that out there. So.
Well, I'm intrigued, by young people like yourselves who, Braylie, you're in this club and you are passionate about this club, and you're actually working to really push a cause and make things happen. Where does that kind of drive come from?
Well, for me especially, my brother, or my stepbrother, Cash Waller, he has a rare disease called tuberous sclerosis, and he also has autism. And so, that definitely delays him in life. He's 11 years old, but he is fully reliant on me and my family. But he is just the sweetest thing, and inclusion is super important to me. All of my friends treat him like anyone else, and maybe more. And so it's just really important for me that inclusion be the number one focus in our community. I just love to see him getting along with kids just like him, and kids that aren't, kids that, have a normal start on life. I just really love to see that.
And so this time of the year, which is Christmas time, there was a song written, I think it's sung by the famous Andy Williams, that says it's the most wonderful time of the year. This time of the year, you want to make sure that this population of people, those persons with special needs, do not get left behind.
Of course. Yes, sir.
And so, in fact, you have really coordinated an event that you're kind of spearheading to take place soon. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, sir. So me and my partner, Noah Barn, he's also a junior at Vidalia High School. He's been helping me with this all the way.
Okay.
And we have created the event, 'Tis the Season, to celebrate our differences. And it'll be hosted at the POW, December 18th. And we are just really hoping everybody will come and show up. We're watching The Grinch. And The Grinch is actually going to be there. So that will be exciting. And we're also going to have a lot of treats, some little games. It's just going to be a whole lot of fun for the whole family.
I'm gonna kind of interject and kind of josh with somebody who just walked in the studio. When you talked about Grinch, I looked over and saw him. And the Lion City manager, the one and the only Mr. Jason Hall, just walked in. But anyway, I digress. So you and Noah, he's 16 years old, I take it, 2 juniors, have gotten together, come up with this event, and you're pushing an event in Powell Theater entitled "'Tis the Season to Celebrate Our Differences." And the 2 of you coordinated this event and have put it together.
Yes, sir, we did.
Outstanding. And, here on Community Matters, we always look for those persons who are really working to help make our community better. And when I got the text from Braylie Randolph, who works with our local newspaper, and said, here's an initiative that's happening, I just really had to get you on the show. And so I appreciate you coming, and thank you for the passion that you have, that you see a need, and you're actually pushing to make it happen. I'm just intrigued by you being a young person and really wanting to make our community better. Again, I have to ask, and I know you've said it, but like, how do you develop that? And how could you encourage other young people to get involved with making our community better?
I don't know. I would just really say that if there's something that you're passionate about, that you should just head over heels, make that happen. You're never too young to make a difference.
I see a lot of our young people on TikTok, Snap. You got all of these things, social media?
Yes, sir, I do.
And they spend a lot of time putting those things together, when in fact you've kind of put that, you probably use it to promote this, but you're actually doing some action calls in the community. Wow, that's outstanding. Now, do a lot of your other friends do the same thing? There
are a lot of people in our club doing some similar, well, not necessarily special needs events, but there are a lot of people doing a lot of great events. Emma Vinson wasn't necessarily with FCCLA, but her and some other people put together a big thing for our high school that raised a lot of money for teachers in the area that are struggling, and also just a lot of other events that are going to come out this year.
Wow. So
it's just really exciting to see people in grades younger and, a few grades older than me really doing the same thing. Super exciting.
Now, what day is your event going to be on?
It's December the 18th.
December the 18th.
Which I think is next Monday.
Okay. And what time is the event?
I don't know if I finalized a time, but it should be around 5 or 6. We have to talk with the PAL, see when they're going to let us come in.
All right. Okay, so it'll be that evening. You're pushing it out.
I am.
You want people to come.
Of course.
And is there a cover charge or an entry fee?
It's $5 per person upon entry, and all proceeds go towards the Toombs County Special Olympics, because a lot of the people that are attending our special needs families will also be going to the Special Olympics. So.
Okay. All right. What can we expect when we attend this event?
You can expect that the Grinch will greet you at the door.
Okay.
He'll be there for a lot of pictures. That's his favorite thing, even though he doesn't have lots of favorite things. We're going to have a lot of treats, a lot of snacks. There'll be a lot of just Christmas candy. We'll have some cookies, some brownies, and we are going to be playing a few little games.
Okay. So are you really pushing for the children to be there, or is this open to everyone?
This is open to everyone. A lot of families want to come and stay. That's perfectly fine. We have room for that, and we have food. We have everything prepared for that too. Okay. So just everyone to get involved.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. Once you, we know that it's going to be on the 18th. Where can people go to find out, like, what time the event starts? Because I'm sure people are listening and they want to support this cause.
So I will post it on my Facebook. My mom's going to repost it, and our FCCLA has an Instagram page.
Okay.
And so it will also be posted on there.
And what if people just want to donate to this cause and they may not be able to attend the event?
Well, we are actually really hoping for that.
Mm-hmm.
The Toombs County Special Olympics would really benefit from an extra donation, so you could reach out to them.
Okay.
Or we will be taking up donations at our event, or if you reach out to me or FCCLA's profile on Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
we can get that settled for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Braylie Davis. She is a junior at Vidalia High School. She is a passionate young lady who is very special. She's already attending colleges while she's in high school. She's just a junior and a real go-getter. Boy, we need more of our young people to be like you.
Thank you. I'm glad you had me.
All right. Well, we got to get Braylie out of here. She has another appointment this morning. She's a young lady who's in high demand. So thank you again for all you do. Keep up the good work, and congratulations on being 3-time state champion game day cheerleading. Congratulations for that, for you and your team. 3 years in a row.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's outstanding. Keep doing good things. We'll be praying for you, and I'm praying that this event will be a success. And you have some other events in the future, please reach out to the doc and let me know.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, we thank you again, Braylie. Please, ladies and gentlemen, go out and support this great cause. And we just thank you, and just keep up the good work. We're going to take a break, and as promised, we have the one and the only Mr. Jason Hall is here, and we will come back and we will talk with our city manager and catch up with him. So don't go anywhere. Stay right here with us. We'll be right back right after these messages.
Smarter, not harder. Here at Vidalia Federal, we are all about that phrase as we strive to make your life easier. No more drowning in paperwork or being interrogated over the idea of buying a house. Getting a home loan should be an enjoyable, simple process, not a daunting task. This is Julia McKenzie with Vidalia Federal Savings Bank, and I am here to make the mortgage process easy and simple. Come see me at the Vidalia branch on Jackson Street to talk about your next home purchase or refinance. I look forward to serving you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! This is Anthony J. with Todd Paget Housing Center, and no, I'm not Santa, but we sure are slaying the competition over here in Claxton, Georgia. We build our manufactured homes more energy efficient, better built, and have the best setup than anyone else. So whether you've been naughty or nice, come by and we'll be glad to show you the Todd Paget Housing difference. Jingle us at 912-732-1466 or stop your sleigh at 5260 Highway 280 in Claxton. Todd Paget Housing Center. All of your housing solutions under one roof.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, Tony Wardlaw, the Doc. Well, we've got the fellas are back together again. I don't know if that's good or bad, man.
The funniest thing this morning I've seen so far is Robin crawling behind y'all to get back around to the board.
You know, you never know what you're going to get.
Very
when it comes
agile.
to the Community Matters.
I'm telling you, I'm impressed. I give it 5 stars.
Oh,
5 stars.
my
Would
goodness.
recommend.
Now, everybody who's listening, you already know how this goes.
It's
The
a
Doc
madhouse.
is the host, but anytime we have Mr. Jason Hall here, he just takes over the show. Man, it's good to have you in the
Man, it's
studio
good to
again.
be here.
It's been too long.
Has been a while. Yeah.
And,
Well, I mean, you say one bad thing, they kick you out for 2 months.
Right, that's right.
I got the letter in the mail that said you can't come back on the property for 2 months. So
I didn't send it out, man. It wasn't me, man.
It came from corporate.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we don't know who it came from. But no, it's good to be back. Good to be
Yeah,
back.
man.
Man, it's
Yeah.
a busy season too. It's lucky
It
you
is.
got me.
You've been.
I had to chisel out this
I
time.
know it. I
Yeah,
was
it's
like,
ridiculous.
oh my goodness. We had some issues on last week, and
Yeah.
I was going to try to squeeze you in, and even then,
Yeah, it was
you would
crazy.
have had to come in and get right out.
Yeah.
So a lot of things are happening.
Decembers are always rough, but this year seems to be extremely packed.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I think I heard. I was listening to Mike Hagan last night. I was attended an event for the hospital, and he was actually. I take that back. It was Matt that was talking. He said, 2021 was kind of the weird year. That was the.
Yeah.
Let's not mention the name
Right.
of the disease that
Right.
that lasted for 3 years. But
Right.
that was that year, and it was weird. 2022 was kind of the. He called it the recovery year. Everybody's trying to get back. And our 2022 and 2023 has just been
trying to make up
it's
for it.
crazy. It's like we're trying to throw 3 years into one year.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I mean I'm enjoying it, and it's good. And we got a lot going on. We got so much going on.
A lot of things happening here in Lyons.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot of things are happening in Lyons.
We just finished the Christmas parade.
Mm-hmm.
Huge success.
Yes.
I don't know. There was probably 30,000 people. I think Macy's called us and said, "Look, we're just going to move the Macy's Day Parade to Lyons because we can't get that many people." So it was crazy. I don't know the number. I'm terrible at guesstimating crowds, but I mean the numbers were huge. Beautiful weather.
And I was going to say, we were afraid that there may be rain, but it turned out to
beautiful.
be fabulous.
Turned out beautiful. I think there was a little over 100 or 120 participants in the parade.
Oh my goodness.
I know I spoke with some of the judges, and they were like, it was just so hard to judge the floats because they were so well put together. I saw a few of them, and I'll throw the names out because I love these creeks. But Soapbox Derby had a float that was just phenomenal.
Yes.
There were several other ones in the parade that were just amazing. Tales of the Altamont had a float that was just one of the funniest floats I've seen in a long time. And the thing went on for an hour and a half. I mean, you sit there and you think about that, but it was. I talked to somebody and they were like, we know it was an hour and a half, but it felt like it was 20 minutes. They said there was no breaks. There was no, there was always something different coming on, and that's what we want. And I tell you, a lot of people don't know this about the parade. They think it's a city event.
Okay.
I didn't have a lot to do with it, to be honest, thank God.
Oh, wow.
But we have a group of volunteer firefighters that service our community. I mean, we have a great rating. We have a great ISO rating. It's because of those guys and women. And they do that parade every year.
Wow.
And they run that thing like a fire drill.
They start
prepping for that parade sometimes in June and July, and then it comes off without a hitch. I think there's 30 some odd volunteer firefighters that do that parade.
Goodness.
And they do it under the umbrella of Main Street. You have to have a kind of an overseeing organization. But those firefighters, that's their passion and they love it. And they're going to turn right around next week and have the Santa train as well.
Okay.
So they're going to do the visit to some of the more impoverished communities around and give away some things that they have gathered over the year. So these guys, not only do they serve the community for nothing. I mean, they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart. But then they spend hours and hours and days doing this parade and doing this Santa train, and they don't receive a lot of recognition for it.
Right.
And they don't want it. So I mean, they're probably going to be mad at me because I mentioned it. But it is a great event, and they do a great job at making it happen.
I never knew that.
Yep.
I'm like the others. I always thought that this was a city event because we have the mayor's reception and other things.
Now that is a city event.
Okay.
So I do that.
Well, right. And so from there, you just kind of take for granted that the city is overseeing it.
We sanction it. We have to do certain things with DOT because one of the most complicated things about Lyons is we have so many state highways running right through the middle.
Right through the middle.
And then we have to coordinate with Genesis Wyoming Railroad because the train runs right through the middle of town.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have to support it, and not that we don't do anything for it. We don't, but we're not taking any credit.
They coordinated and put it together.
They do such a great job.
Well, what about the time of the day? I mean, it seems to be a success.
Yeah.
But has anyone ever talked about it being in the evening versus during the day?
I've been here since 13. There's always been discussions about that. I think the majority of those that that have any say-so in that parade like the fact that it's a lighted parade and it's at night.
That's good.
I heard back in the day, probably before me, they did it on a Saturday night, but I think it moved to a Friday night, which is always kind of weird because you always got to worry about what the high schools are doing, what's going on in college football and things like that the next day. But because I think we lost some people because they went away. But listen, you know what? I love it when people say, there's nothing to do around here.
Yeah.
And most times, on most weekends, I sit around and go, okay, I got to choose between 4 things to do.
Right.
I mean, I can't do everything, so I got to decide whether I want to do A, B, C, or D.
Right.
And that's the way it is. I mean, you're never going to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. But seeing those numbers, I think we're doing it correctly.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I do.
Wonderful. Well, that's not all we got going on in Lyons. We just had a meeting, council meeting.
We did.
Any things that came out that we need to share with the public?
We have a few things going on. We are working on some I just lost my word for it. Our comprehensive plan update.
Okay.
There are some listening sessions going to be had over the course of the next couple of months.
Right.
I don't have those dates in front of me, but you can check out our Facebook page. If you're not following the City of Lyons Facebook page, you need to.
Yes.
It is a very informative page. It's updated constantly about what's going on in the city. And those are important. They're not exciting like us, but they're important.
Good.
And our comprehensive plan is what we use to address things like housing, homelessness, transportation. Transportation becoming a hugely important thing in the city of Lyons. If you come to any of our council meetings, you'll be aware that we're about to spend a few $1 million on transportation in Lyons. We have a new roundabout coming in. We have a new parking lot in downtown that's going to be constructed after the first of the year. We have a lot of paving projects that'll be released after the first of the year, and several miles of striping that's going to go on in the city after the first of the year.
Wow.
So there'll be a lot of advertisements for bids after the first of the year. It's not our project, but then you have the US 1 bypass coming through. If you drive up and down either 280 or 292, you'll notice all that construction going on right there around HD Wright, where the pond was that nobody knew was there. Well, everybody knew it was there, but nobody saw it until they opened it up and drained it.
Right.
But that's the bypass. Within the next 3 or 4 years, there's going to be a 45-foot overpass right there.
And
so that landscape is going to change. The landscape of Lyons is going to change.
It's already starting. I mean, it's already starting, and I'm like, wait a minute, wow.
Yeah.
Where are the trees?
Yep.
Everything's just opening up.
Well, just think about the environment we live in right now as the economic environment. Hyundai, however you're going to pronounce it, is about to bring a huge amount of jobs to our area. Now it's going to affect south of us a lot more than it will us, but we're going to see some of the after effects of that.
Absolutely.
We're going to be tier 3. The Development Authority just purchased 600 acres north of the industrial park for that very purpose. We've got a project to provide some water and sewer to that project, and there's going to be some big employers. Jordan Plastics, the building as you're going north on US 1, kind of right in front of Chicken Sea, they're going to have over 100 employees starting up in the next 2 years. And I say that because one of our biggest challenges, and our council talks about it a lot, the City of Vidalia talks about it a lot, is housing. We have a huge need for workforce housing. You'll see in the next couple of years some big projects come out for workforce housing as well. So, and those things have ripple effects throughout the community, because if you think 100 employees coming to our area, that's 150 kids coming to our school system.
That's excellent.
That's another, and you either have the wife or the husband working at this industry, well then the other partner is going to be looking for a job somewhere else.
Right.
And we know it. I know it from the city, and then I know it also because my spouse runs a small business here. Finding employees is tough right now. It's extremely tough. It's going to also have a ripple effect for the school system because a lot of what's going in those factories now are robotics and electronics, and those kids coming out of high school, getting into those industries, they'll be able to get their education, get their degree, and stay in our community. As opposed to 10, 15 years ago, they would get their degree and then they would go off and they would come back during their retirement years. And I love retirees, but I'd much rather have a 20, 25-year-old family here starting up, working at one of our industries, working at one of our businesses in town, and really contributing to our society or to our community. So those things are what's the old saying, things in the South are changing. I mean, it's changing, and our community is going to see a lot of that. A lot of that.
Well, how are you handling it? I mean, this is all.
I need about 3 assistants. No, it's good. We have a great team. I have an amazing team. I mean, we have, I would say, and I'm sure Doug and them and Vidalia would argue with me, but I think we have a premier law enforcement agency in Lyons. One of the nice thing or the great thing about our law enforcement officers is they're very community minded. They know everybody, and pretty much everybody knows them.
Have we seen the crime rate go up any?
We haven't seen a huge change either way in the crime rate.
Because when you start having this kind of growth,
well, we haven't seen the growth like we will see in the next 2 to 3 years. But one of the nice things, or one of the great things about our council is they're very forward looking. So we're not sitting back, and we're not going to be we're not going to be reactive. We're going to be proactive.
That's good.
So we're creating a good team with our law enforcement. I mean, I mentioned the fire department before. I mean, there's millions of dollars worth of buildings sitting at the industrial park, and our goal is to keep our ISO rating low, so that those industries have better insurance rates, they have better quality of protection. So we spend a lot of time and money with our fire department. We are constantly improving our quality of life features in Lyons. Recreation is one of those. We just received a $2 million grant to renovate Faison Park. That bid will go out after the first of the year as well. So you'll see a lot of construction over there in Faison Park. Community center, some multi-use fields, a huge amount of money in parking. One of the things that we learned from Parton Park is you can never have enough parking.
That's right.
So we have really pushed our engineers when they're designed for Faison Park to think about parking. And so there's going to be a lot of asphalt at Faison Park because we think Faison will become one of the premier recreation areas. I mean, Parton is full. There's nothing else we can do. There's one little space over there.
And I'm sure you've got dibs on what you're going to do.
We do, and that's already been designed. We've just got to find the money to fix that little part. But I mean, Parton is
maxed it out,
you can't. I mean, we can't buy people's houses to create recreation fields. So Faison is going to be that next phase of our recreation. So, and you got to have that. I was talking to a group of young leaders the other day, and we got to talking about economic development, and I said, nobody's going to build a house in the middle of it. No matter what Facebook says, you're not going to go out in the middle of nowhere and build a house where you don't have internet, where you don't have stores, where you don't have streets.
Right.
You say you're going to, and everybody says they want to live there, but they would be there about 3 or 4 days, and then they'd be bored, and they'd be trying to figure out how to get back to the city. So they're going to build close enough to where you have a place for your kids to go to the park, you have recreation activities for your kids, you have a good school system, you have a grocery store or a convenience store close enough to walk or ride to.
Yeah.
So that's what we're focusing on in Lyons. We want to make Lyons a premier place for somebody to live, to work, and to play.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So we got all that going on. Just had just finished up a soapbox derby race 2 weeks ago, a little rally race, one of the biggest rally races they've had.
Yeah.
I took a photo while I was there, and I'll share it with you. I was sitting on the sidelines just kind of watching, and I noticed on the bottom of the car it said California, it said CA. And I punched the girl beside me, and I said, part of the G's, that G is missing the top. And she said, no, that's not a G, that's a C. I said,
wow.
I said, California? She said, yeah, they fly here to race soapbox derby in Lyons, Georgia.
We are on the map, bro.
And it kind of floored me.
We're on the map.
They keep a car in Georgia So they fly here to race a couple of times a year.
See that?
Isn't that crazy, though?
No, that's good.
So it just amazes me. We've always had racers from Florida. We've always had racers from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good drive. I drive to Tennessee about twice a month to see my grandbaby, so that's a 4-hour drive. You can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Flying from California to race at Parton Park is really interesting. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. We'll have a new councilman take office in January. We'll start planning our capital outlay after the first of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So we told Drayton that he needed to tighten up his belt because it's a roller coaster ride, and we're going to throw all kinds of stuff at him right at the back.
Right at the beginning. Here you go, Ricky.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do. We have a great council, and they really serve their community well. Good. I told Kathy Benton. She called me 3 or 4 days ago, and it was like the 3rd or 4th call in the week, and I answered the phone. I said, "Okay, you're cut off. You can't call me anymore." Yeah. So when somebody calls, you just tell them you cannot call anymore. We're done for the rest of the year.
So we got Miss Benton. Who else do we have?
So Drayton Oliver is our new councilman for Ward 4, I believe. Ivy Toole, who's been on council for a long time. John Moore Jr.
That's right.
Who serves the ward kind of southwest, and then. Tracy Johnson, yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So a good mix of guys and ladies, and they do a really good job.
And we got the old mayor.
Got Mayor Willis Neesmith. He just started his 4th term, so this will be his 4th term. So he's in it 4 more years. He ran unopposed.
That's a testament of the job that he's doing.
Both him and Ivy ran unopposed. Wonderful. So you had Rick Hartley. Rick Hartley had served 2 terms. Rick was the former city administrator, so he came in with a lot of knowledge. It actually was a great benefit to me as a new city manager. Yeah. I got to pick his brain a little bit. Good. But he served 2 terms, and that's great service. And he said the same. He said it. He said, I've done my duty. I feel like I've helped the community, and I'm gonna let somebody else do it. And so he did. He did not rerun for his post, and Drayton won out in the election, and he starts January. We'll swear him in on January the 9th.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
well, we're just so excited, man, for things that are happening here in Lyons. Again, we say it, but I want to say it again. Thank you always for your leadership and all that you do for the community. I just wanted to get you in, let everybody hear your voice before the year ended.
Right. It's been a good year, and
2023 is coming to an end, bro.
It is. We'll do a review of 2023 at our work session at the end of January, and it's always a good time to kind of look back. This year's review is going to be very long.
Yeah.
We have done a lot in this year, and it's been extremely fast paced.
Right.
Very fast paced, and I don't think 2024 will be any different.
Wow.
I'm already kind of. I've lost some weight. I've lost some weight because of this, and I'm like, man.
You're rolling your sleeves up and already, cracking your knuckles.
Telling you, man.
Stretching it out. Let's get it.
It's going to be a fast-paced year, but we're looking forward to it.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you guys for what you do, and Robin, that was a great crawl behind the scenes there. I loved it.
We're so grateful, man, and again, thank you, Ms. Robin, for our general manager. Thank you for all you do, and thank you for being here this morning. I wake her up every Wednesday morning. I got up early, man.
I hear you.
But she's right there. We want to say thank you to Miss Dorothy Davis also. You can go back on our website, tcbbroadcasting.com, tcbbroadcasting.com, and you can see all of our shows archived. You can go ahead and take a look at the debonair face of our city manager in case you don't know what he looks like. And please go to our website. And again, we thank all of you for listening. We'll be back again on next week. We'll be talking with our school superintendent.
Oh, Barry coming in.
Yeah, Barry Waller here will be here. So we look forward to that conversation. But please, everyone, stay warm, be blessed, and do all we can to help make our community better. I'm your host, the Doc. We'll talk to you again on next week. God bless you, everyone. Have a good day.
You've been listening to Community Matters with host Tony Doc Wardlaw, sponsored by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton and by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia. Tune in again next week to see what is happening in our community on Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting.